Welcome to the Music Lounge. How you doing? We have a really special show today because we're taping this the day after the 2025 MTV VMAs. So it's only right that we give our comments about the show, knowing what it takes to run a show on the back end, but also as viewers sitting in the other side of the screen, right, Perry?
Absolutely, yeah. We are recording this the day after the show. I didn't get home till 4 a.m. from all the after parties, so I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
But I do want to introduce our guest today. He's our special correspondent for award shows.
Okay, cool.
Justin Prager, thank you for joining us. And you were at the show last night, so give us your hot take on what the show was last night.
Yeah, I mean, the energy in the building was pretty good. It's interesting being on the other side, working back at MTV back in the day, being in the mix and knowing all the little behind the scenes dramas and everything else that's going on. It's always nice to be
not having to deal with that.
Exactly, watching it from afar and being able to enjoy it and really kind of pay attention to everything.
And you've been pretty much every year, right? As a guest.
I mean,
seems like you've been.
Yeah, I mean, I might have missed one or two or a couple, whatever, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, I've been to pretty much, I think, every one, kind of, for the most part.
Right, post working at MTV.
Post working at MTV, yeah, I don't want to say every single one, but I've been to a bunch.
Between you, Lou, and Steve,
yeah,
Gottlieb, I guess you've covered them all at least.
Yeah, I guess between the three of us, we've been to all of them for the last 20-odd years, so we have pretty good coverage of that. Yeah, it's just interesting because the VMAs are a much different VMA than they were, back in the day and what they mean and everything. I think they still have some importance. MTV's an iconic brand, whether you grew up with it or not. And it's funny because I know a lot of people under the age of maybe 30 at this point might not even know what the VMAs stand for as far as what VMA stands for. It's definitely still part of pop culture. Whether the ratings are good or not, I think people still kind of hold value to it that like, oh, the VMAs are on. I'm going to check it out, whether I'm going to love it or I'm going to hate on it.
Do you think the musical acts represented a year in music?
As far as the performers go, I mean, definitely a mixed balance between older, I should say, and new. LL is the host, another interesting choice. He hosts pretty much every award show, I guess, at this point. But
CBS's go-to host. Yeah,
he is CBS.
Do you think CBS airing on CBS had an influence on the format of the show?
Probably. I mean, it actually ended on time, which was a miracle.
That too.
I think it actually ended a little earlier than maybe what you guys saw on TV because I mean it was probably around 10:55.
Mine actually cut off right when Ariana tossed to the director for her last award speech.
Really?
As soon as he got to the mic, my TV cut off. I didn't do the extended 15 minutes, so I don't know what he said. I know she was on tiptoes on the mic.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he made a speech, and that pretty much ended the show, and it was interesting because usually there's a big performance at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And there wasn't this time, which was interesting as well. I don't know if that was because they were ending right on time and they didn't want to go over, or they just really didn't have anything else. It was a decent mix of old and new, but what was really kind of outstanding was that hip-hop was like almost non-existent on the show, besides LL hosting.
And Busta.
And Busta.
That's what I thought,
and you're talking about Busta, who is pretty much at everything at this point. He's definitely somebody that's out there and, as he says on his Instagram.
I don't know if his classic fast rap carries anything anymore. I mean, it's iconic for us, but...
Right.
If you're like watching that, you're like, what the, like, who is this?
Well, I have to say it was amazing to listen to, quite honestly.
That's the highlight of any shows that he does. Any show that he does, fast rap, especially with the Chris Brown track, shows lyrical skill, which, to be honest with you, in hip hop right now isn't really the number one thing when it comes to some of the younger artists. Not bashing all the younger artists, but some of them. So yeah, the lack of hip hop was really interesting. Busta was really, and Glorilla was there.
Right.
Just kind of representing no Young Boy or Kodak Black or any of the newer guys that are around.
So one hip hop performance from a classic artist and 2 country performances.
Yep. And 2 Latin performances as well. You want to bring Latin in with Balvin
And Ricky Martin.
With Balvin and Ricky Martin. The most unrepresented was probably hip hop.
I mean, I guess you could say Doja Cat maybe did a little bit of hip hop, but it really, I thought it was more Janet Jackson than anything.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Dancing was insane. And Kenny G sounded great.
Yeah.
Her dancing was really cool. But to open the show with her, with songs you weren't familiar with, I don't think was a massive draw. Something for me, I'm always interested and excited to see all the bumpers and the graphics and stuff. And to me, it was downplayed so safe and almost basic. Apart from the big Moon Man, whenever we came back from commercial break, that was very
the graphic,
graphical. But in terms of the bumpers and the style of the show, definitely was weak.
My hot take on it was when Andrew said it was the 2025 VMAs, I was like, wait, I thought it was the 2005 VMAs. Paris Hilton, The Simpsons. Who else was there? Mariah, Ricky Martin, Busta. I mean, you couldn't have gotten some presenters who are like a little bit more current. Do you remember when every movie star and every hot person in music went to the VMAs? It didn't even matter if they were on the show. They were just went to sit in the audience.
Yeah.
Like,
you didn't plan to any of those shots. I didn't see anyone in the audience that wasn't.
Nobody who was there didn't win. Like, they never even told the winners beforehand. I can't imagine that they didn't tell them this year that they were winning.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ariana had a lot of, FaceTime, and, she was there.
And Ariana, and then Ariana.
And Lady Gaga.
I mean, exactly.
How do you think she got back? A helicopter?
Yeah, I think she took Long Island Railroad, probably.
Yeah. If we go through the show quick, Doja Cat, Kenny G opening the show.
Kenny G
sounded great. I want to hear those songs that I've been hearing on the radio. I want to hear them live, And for her, it was something new that I didn't really recognize.
I actually liked what she did better than what I had been hearing on the radio.
Yeah, I liked the track. It was just, once again, you're opening up with something that nobody really knows. Lola Young, who I love.
Yeah.
But she was really early in the show as well. You figured they would come out with the heavy hitters.
I think Ricky was super quick. I was like, oh, shit, we're here already.
Yeah, he was like the second or third performance.
Yeah. And yes, he's fucking amazing dancer, and he looks 20 years younger than he is. He's
53.
53.
Amazing. Yeah.
But apart from Viva Love, whatever, in La Viva Loca. I personally didn't know any of the other songs. And, his voice goes in and out live. Ricky.
That's the thing with Ricky. And also with Ricky, I mean, obviously huge in the Latin world. But, when you think about it, I mean, obviously Living La Vida Loca was, bigger than God at the time. No question about it.
Apart from that, is irrelevant,
But after that, She Bangs, I think that more people know the William Hung version of She Bangs than his version. And, once again, very successful, of course. He hasn't really had a hit here in the States in probably 25 years.
That's the thing. He was winning the Latin award, and he has had a sustained career in doing his Spanish music.
Right. Yeah, just like the crowd was going crazy for him just because, it was Ricky, or at least some of them. A lot of people I don't think really know who he was, to be honest.
Exactly.
But those who knew him obviously loved it. But yeah, it was just interesting to see that because, you start listening and you're like, oh yeah, he had Living La Vida Loca and maybe one or two. And I'm trying to think of the other one. So, so that was kind of an interesting choice. But
it was an enjoyable performance nonetheless, even though I didn't recognize
it was high
most
energy.
of the songs.
Exactly. And then we go into Buster that we talked about.
Rock the Bells. You skipped over Tate McRae.
Tate McRae. Yeah. Go on.
I thought, hey, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Of course. Here's and again, I thought it was a great performance. I could not understand a word of the song.
Right.
I hate that style of singing where it's so
unique voice
under the music where you can't understand the words or the whisper singing.
Right.
or
You should
high
be more
register.
of a fan where you've memorized the lyrics.
How do you memorize them if you can't hear them?
How do my kids memorize them? I don't know.
I don't know. I also don't think she was singing live, so.
Well, there was a few instances of that. I'm not going to like point out exact artists on that point, but
I will.
Yeah. Go ahead. Leave it to you.
I think actually Mariah was singing.
Yeah, Mariah.
But she wasn't moving.
Well, she does. But she's never moved on stage
hamstring.
either.
She literally walked like a zombie.
Yeah, she's not very high heels on.
Much of a dancer, but come on, she literally was.
She put her hand on her hip a couple of times,
and she dipped. Yeah, no, I mean,
Tate, I liked.
Yeah, I thought Tate was good.
Again, she's another good dancer, so you know.
Yeah,
she makes it work.
Yeah, she definitely put on a good performance. Yeah, I don't know, Andrew, if you want to go through the other ones.
No, are we at Busta now? Yeah,
Busta.
Yeah, I mean, he's iconic for his videos, so. Yeah, I mean, again, I think for someone new that isn't familiar with, that wasn't around during his hits, they may be looking at his rap and be like, I don't get it. I think it could have been a little, I don't know, better. I wasn't too familiar with the 3 cameos he had on with him.
Yeah, it was Papoose, Glorilla, and Papoose is married to, or maybe was married to Remy Martin, or Remy Ma.
Well, that was Remy?
No, that wasn't Remy. That was Glorilla. And then I think the other guy might have been Busta's son.
Really?
That was up there. Yeah. Don't quote me on that, but
yeah, so,
I think that might have been Busta's son. So yeah, it wasn't like anybody else that was really too familiar up there. Besides him and Splistar, who's his sidekick.
Yeah.
Hype man. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty energetic. Once again, you're talking about songs that, you know, roughly 20, 25, some of them almost 30.
The Rock the Bells Award, is that LL's franchise?
Yeah, Rock the Bells is LL's franchise, so I'm sure.
How do you think that went down for him to give the naming credit to a VMA award, which will hopefully be awarded next year and the year after, right? It isn't a one-time thing.
I'm assuming it will be.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming it will be because Rock the Bells is becoming a bigger franchise just in terms of, you know, they have a Sirius XM channel, actually a few different Sirius XM channels, and then, you know, they put on a few live concerts and toured it as well.
So it's MTV's iconic hip hop award, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Rock the Bells is really LL's franchise. It's not MTV's franchise.
No, yeah.
But I think like I said, I think one of the stipulations for LL to host was like, hey, let's do a Rock the Bells branded award.
Listen, you know, they were never going to give Busta the Video Vanguard Award because he's not big enough, even though his videos probably merit it. I would think. And they weren't going to give him the Global Icon Award because, you know, you don't want to follow Puffy with that award. And right. Yeah.
Basically with the stuff she was putting out with Hype Williams.
Who do you think has never gotten the Video Vanguard that you think should get it besides Busta?
Has Gaga got it yet?
Yes.
Okay.
She got it in 2020, I think, is when they did it with her. I mean, I think pretty much everybody who probably should get it, maybe NSYNC.
Yeah, I don't know if have they given it to groups or bands, or it's really just really solo artists.
I think got it once.
Did they get
it? They?
Nah, I don't know if they did. I don't think they would have gotten it. They got probably like an Icon Award or something.
And that was Busta's first VMA.
Yeah, that's and Mariah's first VMA too.
He made that pretty clear too.
Yeah.
And so did Mariah.
Yeah, and Mariah, which is crazy when you think
I can't believe that they never won a VMA before.
Yeah. No, that was pretty crazy.
And we keep going back to their videos as well. It's
right.
What did you think of Sabrina's performance?
I think she should have done a medley. At least, yes, they were probably last year, right?
Yeah. But that's what she won for.
Please.
She won the album of the year for Sweet and Short and Sweet.
I think she should have done a medley. But I'm a fan, you know. I think she deserved to win album of the year as well. I think there was a lot of hits on that. It was everywhere. She was everywhere, you know. Our friends at Ireland, I think they did a good job. She's a household name.
Yeah.
And she got what she deserved. You know, is she Grammy worthy? I don't know, but
I thought it was funny when she's like, I love that people streamed my last album and my new album, and maybe
my
they'll
last
go back and listen to my 69 other albums.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
yeah,
was funny.
I mean, people forget, you know, it took a while for her to pop, you know?
I love that she has a sense of humor about herself too, and that it shows up in her music and her performances.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, she does now.
Oh.
Probably a couple years ago, not as much, just
Yeah.
because, you know, obviously, you know, things weren't hitting yet, but now that they are, I mean, she can kind of look back and laugh, which is nice.
I thought it was interesting too that they allowed her to have not only the drag queens on stage, but the signs that said trans rights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that CBS allowed it too.
Yeah, no, she was making a statement. I thought her performance was really good. Yeah, they're really just trying to push the new stuff. How many more times can you hear Espresso? Manchild's been out already for a while, so I think they really just wanted to kind of focus on the new. And yeah, I mean, I think she did a great job on it. And
then we went into 2 country performances, right?
Jelly Roll and Post Malone. Yep. I love country on an award show, and I think it's so much more crossover than back in the day, you know. So I think it fit, and these are 2 artists that have been in different genres. I liked it. I think they sounded great, and it was a nice relief to hear some great musicianship at that point of the show. I was like, okay,
a lot of it is tracks.
Now I can see some good musicians.
Definitely a lot of it is tracks and things like that. But you got to remember, when you're in the arena, you know, that was basically a taped performance.
Right.
Yeah. The energy was really low for that, as well as the Bailey Zimmerman, Kid Laroi, because that was shot separately as well. I mean, both
really.
Yeah.
And then Gaga as well came from.
And Gaga was obviously at MSG. When that happens and you're just looking at a screen, it's pretty much bathroom time for a lot of people, from what you can see on screen.
TV, it looked great, on
I mean, the Gaga performance looked amazing on TV.
Yeah. And I have to say, that new song, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
From the song, I guess it's from the Wednesday soundtrack.
Right.
So I thought it sounded great.
Yeah. Song sounded good, and yeah, I mean, her performance was amazing. It would have been great to see it live, obviously, like in the arena, but
especially the way it was staged. I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah. Good stage.
Yeah, no, it looked really good.
My list next is Alex Warren.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think that song is a hit. Again, when you got to that part of the show.
It is a hit.
When you got to that part of the show, for me, it was like, all right, now I'm hearing and seeing a performance that is right for the VMAs, because it represents something that I've been listening to on high repeat whenever I turn on Hits One or radio. So
my take on it was that it was this year's version of Beautiful Thing. It's got the verse, and then that chorus goes super emotional, and then it comes back to the verse, similar to like Beautiful Thing last year with Benson Boone.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's why it's reacting so well with the audience too.
The song is a smash already. You know, with the choir and everything like that, you can't go wrong. You know, it's automatic, guaranteed drama. As far as Alex himself goes, you know, I don't know if he's the most like dynamic artist or anything. I mean, he has a very unique voice and everything, but I think a lot of people probably know the song more than they know him.
Yeah, you wouldn't know if you walked down the street and bumped into you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's kind of that type of artist right now. That might change. Amazing song and voice and everything like that.
But here's the thing, getting back to your point about representing music this year, like they didn't even have other musicians who weren't maybe even nominated and or performing part of the show as even presenters. Like, why wouldn't you have a Benson Boone there? Because he's a pretty big name, and you know he's been popular for the last couple of years. Why wouldn't you have a Chapel Roan there to present?
Yeah, Benson maybe, because I mean he was just in the city. I think, well, he's on tour right now, so that's probably the reason why he wasn't
probably Chapel Roan too, but
yeah, I mean Chapel was at the show last year, and I just think like she's kind of on the down low right now, and really doesn't want to, you know, really kind of want to do anything, and then she'll come back with a big bang and be everywhere.
You know who they should have had present?
Oasis.
Good luck with that. They haven't, I mean, to my knowledge, they haven't done one interview or anything with anybody.
Because they're probably waiting for the tour to be done, the Netflix documentary to come out.
Right.
Which I think started when they first announced it. But yeah, that would have been funny.
What would have been interesting if they actually had a performance from one of their shows on the show.
I think they were on a break last night, or was it LA last night?
I think they did LA
Saturday.
2 nights, right? Yeah.
2 nights, yeah.
I think it might have been.
Other thing I noticed.
The celebrities were out there. That's why there wasn't anyone in New York.
And that's the other thing I noticed was that they recycled, like Glorilla performed and presented. Yeah. And also Jessica Simpson presented and presented.
Yeah.
It was like they just didn't even have enough people to fill all the slots that they usually do.
Yeah. Ariana multitasked a little. They did a couple different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't compare it to 20, 25, 30 plus years ago. I mean, it was a much different thing where everybody and anybody wanted to be there. I mean, it's a different deal now.
One of the biggest highlights, probably for Justin, the Ozzy tribute.
Yep.
How was that for you?
Anytime there's a tribute to anything, I get a little nervous, just to see how it's going to come out. But we've
seen Youngblood before.
Well, we've seen it already with Youngblood.
Yeah.
When he did changes, because I was at the Ozzy Sabbath tribute in the UK a couple months ago, and obviously he killed it. He became the biggest news and the whole deal, and they released it as a single and everything. So we knew that his real name's Dom, so I guess I'll say we knew Dom was going to come out and kill it. Did Crazy Train. Crazy Train's one of those songs that is really, really tough. Ozzy in general is tough to cover.
Yeah.
I think Changes sounded better.
Well, Changes sounded great.
Yeah.
Because Changes is almost a non-Ozzy Sabbath song in a sense when you think about it. It's so 180 from everything else that he did solo and that he did with Sabbath. So Changes is kind of like a little different beast. Whereas Crazy Train and then Mama, I'm Coming Home, those are really, really Ozzy-centric songs. Dom did as good of a job as anybody could with Crazy Train, just getting out there, although we saw a million different covers after Ozzy died of Crazy Train, some good and some not really good. Kudos to Nuno Bettencourt from Extreme. He's definitely like the utility player of the year on guitar. He was the guy basically behind everything at the UK show, the Ozzy Sabbath UK show, when it came to tribute, the tribute bands, the all-star bands, and he killed it last night doing Randy Rhoads and everything else.
And so did Joe Perry.
And Joe came out, from Mama, I'm Coming Home. He was playing guitar, but it was still kind of Nuno with the really kind of more acoustic, the lead in that is almost like the acoustic guitar in a sense. Right. What was really missing also was, and very surprising, a lot of people talking about it, that Zakk Wylde from Ozzy's band, as well as known for Black Label Society, and he's also in Pantera right now, wasn't there. Because you figure because of Ozzy and the relationship that Zakk and Ozzy had, that Zakk would no question be there for the tribute. And I did see kind of on social media that he was in the area. I think he was in New York with his wife. So yeah, it was maybe just because he's still on tour with Pantera and he's doing some other things that he just couldn't make the schedule happen or whatever. But I know he would really do anything for Ozzy, so I'm kind of surprised that he didn't do it. But, once again, Nuno did a great job with that. And then we got to talk about Steven Tyler, who, sorry, I got to go back because that was the last performance he did with the Ozzy Sabbath tribute and absolutely killed it, because Aerosmith was supposed to tour, as we know, this year, or actually last year, and one reason or the other, something happened with Steven's voice, and they had to cancel the tour and everything. They weren't sure if Steven was ever going to be able to sing again.
I could hear it in the beginning of the performance, and then he warmed up. Yeah,
then he warmed up because, like I said, he killed it in the tribute show a couple months ago. And then right at first, when he started singing, Mama, I'm Coming Home, it was a little like, oh shit, I hope he come on. And then he kicked in and definitely, kind of killed it after that. Youngblood came on stage and helped him out, and it sounded great. So once again, we're talking about an artist that probably half the room didn't know who really Ozzy was, besides just kind of the name. Not even knowing that he had the Osbournes, because don't forget the Osbournes was almost 25 years ago. So to a 15-year-old kid, we're not sure. So, yeah, but it was good. And then actually, I was really happy at the end. They played the studio version of Crazy Train rolling the credits, after the show was done. So that was nice too. But yeah, I mean, I think overall, as far as a tribute to Ozzy, it was as good as you're going to get for a show like this, for a show that's so dominated by pop and Latin and country. It was great to have that rock moment, I think was really needed. So yeah, overall, kudos to everybody who put that together, including our friend John Macchia.
So my take on it was that at first I was like, this is Youngblood's audition for the Ozzy movie. And then Steven Tyler came out and the two of them were singing with each other. I was like, wait a minute, no, he should play Steven Tyler in the Aerosmith movie. Because I think he actually looks more like Steven Tyler than he does look like Ozzy.
The way he moves, exactly. And then another good alternative look, I think, was Somba, who I know from listening to Alt Nation every day.
Yeah.
Reminded me of when we had Young the Giant, and we kind of reserved a spot for that alternative group. And I think Somba hit that pretty good, although I wasn't familiar with their new song, and they did a medley.
My take was I thought he, again, going back in time, he sort of reminded me of like a Tyson Ritter from All American Rejects, or a Mika almost.
Wow. Mika.
And I guess the heroin chic look is back.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that guy was so skinny.
Yeah, he's kind of the it boy right now, in a sense. He's been doing like pop-ups here and there. I know he did like a couple in LA, he did a couple over here in New York. So he's the buzz guy right now. It was a little odd because it was him and then Conan Gray right after him.
Right.
And they do kind of mesh, so I thought they probably should have been, their performances probably should have been separated a little.
I also thought they probably put them at the end because maybe they felt like those were going to be the performances that people least responded to also. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
But once again, they usually end with like a big name.
They had nothing to tease to keep people tuned in till the end. Like, so-and-so's coming up in 6 minutes. That's what I love. They do that at the Grammys, right? Like, they have times.
Yeah, this is the moment you've been waiting for.
People are coming on. Yes. Yeah. So I think that was missed.
What do you guys think of the J Balvin performance?
I thought it was okay. The new song he has with DJ Snake to me is okay. So it wasn't really
listen to that kind of music. I don't really listen to Latin music too much.
Say the same.
I skipped over it, and I know going back to Conan, I know he's a big name, but I don't hear his music anywhere.
Wait, is he a big name?
Yes, I'm not the MTV demo.
I mean, I would say at least in the LBG.
He's been BTQ kicking around for years, and it just doesn't feel like he's really broken.
I think he's got a very, very strong audience, like a very strong
committed
fan base
audience,
that like worships him. But then outside of that, people are like, "Oh, who?" I kind of heard the name, but I'm not exactly sure what songs he does. I think he's kind of that artist too, in a sense.
I loved him.
Loved actually the 3 seconds of the Mega Maroney song that we got.
She's a good,
I think she's so, and I was like, oh my God, she and Sabrina Carpenter should pair up because they look exactly alike. I
my
mean,
daughter's
they should
a big
do something
fan.
together.
Yeah, maybe that's why they probably won't. But
I was like, well, at first I was like watching and I'm like, well, Sabrina's a natural when they make the Dolly Parton movie. And then I was like, wait, Mega Maroney could play Dolly Parton.
Maybe Megan, yeah. Megan's great. I saw her probably over a year ago at Bowery, and she killed it. She's definitely one of the hottest names right now in country. So it was good to see her up there. That was kind of the same situation as Lola doing that new artist spotlight situation. Once again, a lot of people there were like, who are these people? But I think after each of their performances, they were like, oh, wow, I really like that.
Now, had you heard of Cat's Eye before?
Yeah, they're definitely bubbling. Pop act, kind of a mixed group of different women. They're really starting to heat up now too. They won the Push Performance Award, which is MTV's, basically new artist franchise push. So it was cool to see that. We did see Rosé. We did see, and then the K-pop Demon Hunter singers came out.
Yeah, they got a huge response.
Well, I mean, that's the number one. I think
It's
that's
massive,
the most
yeah.
watched Netflix movie ever.
Absolutely.
Which is insane. And actually, one of the singers in that is Audrey Nuna, who was a solo artist. I think she still is, but she's really boosted up from this franchise as well. Everybody has who's touched it. Audrey was starting to bubble a little as a solo singer, and then now being in this franchise has definitely elevated.
And who knew Rosé was from New Zealand? I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I'll be honest, I didn't know that either. Yeah.
Well, like, where was Bruno? He would have been a great guest to have.
Bruno should have been there. He was nominated for every award.
Nods, with APT and everything, and with the Gaga song, obviously.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, not sure. It's interesting. And let's not forget also that Gunpowder and Sky produced this, which is Van Toffler's production company. And Van, for those who don't know, basically used to run MTV.
Yeah.
Did run MTV. So it was interesting to see him and a lot of people that did the VMAs back in the day come back, like Joe DeMaio directed it. Jesse Ignatjevich was back doing production as well.
But I didn't feel it was a step up from previous years. The hype that Van was back and big emphasis on music videos and ancillary content. I was looking yesterday, where am I going to watch it? So I went to CBS and then I went to MTV, and I noticed on every Paramount channel it was there, which was a little much. Like, do you really need to watch it on TV Land, all like 50 different channels? Also, it being on Paramount Plus, I would have thought for the subscribers that pay for Paramount Plus would have gotten something different than just the live show. I went to YouTube and there was a pre-show that was on from like 6 o'clock on TV. It started at 7. So YouTube had something before. I would have thought at least Paramount Plus would have had something. E didn't have anything.
Yeah. You're talking about a pre-show?
Those are my like music programming mindset takes. I would have had some special video show on Paramount Plus that people could have watched the week before. You know, a highlight on big iconic videos.
And honestly, that would have been like such hype for the show too. I mean, it's sort of a no-brainer to do, right?
I would have thought so. Yeah.
And what my takeaway was with those people coming back to the show, they were known for these really big reveals and surprises and things that you didn't expect.
Yeah,
and
there was no big moments.
There was no moment from
they might not
show.
have been able to get any. You know, maybe it was that.
But those things happen organically, and I don't think
they didn't even have the people there to create the moments, and that's what I felt was missing.
Yeah. Once again, Ariana, huge. Gaga, huge. Post, he wasn't there, but they performed. But yeah, there wasn't any Britney, kissing Madonna moments or anything like that.
Right.
Let's not forget, this was, for all intents and purposes, strictly on CBS. So I think there was probably a lot of guidelines there as well, like to kind of push back standards and practices and things. Not that MTV wasn't strict, but it might have been a different landscape too, just in terms of what they could and what they couldn't do.
But the Grammys, are on CBS, and they always have that moment in the show where they, I think the Grammys are way too long, in my opinion. But when they do a tribute to somebody, they have performers that you wouldn't expect to be part of that tribute performing.
Well, that definitely. I'm just talking about anything controversial.
No. I know, but it's just, anything that you would have gone, wow, I didn't expect that to happen, or wow, I didn't expect those two artists to pair up. Right. I don't know. Beyonce is impossible to get to do anything, but a Destiny's Child reunion just to prevent Artist of the Year or Video of the Year or whatever. Some moment that you would have.
I have the power really to do it. I just maybe the brand just isn't where it was.
The Ozzy tribute was trying to be that because that was Steven and Joe's big return to the VMAs, and Aerosmith's back now. Who knows if they're going to tour?
Like but no one really knows about that.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That was like
it means nothing to.
That was
90%
kind of the closest
of the audience.
to that was kind of the closest to like a reunion or anything. So, I think that's kind of really kind of where that landed.
Did you get free drinks last night?
It was a school night, so I didn't.
There was no open bar.
No, there was open bar somewhere,
Right.
but yeah, I didn't really. I
That's
didn't see
good.
it, which was probably a good thing.
The other thing, and I don't know if you guys saw this before we wrap, that David Ellison there's an article in the Wall Street Journal this week about how he wants to revamp MTV and the cable channels and reinvest in
I
them.
did see something about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
What's your take on that?
I think it's a good thought. As we know, music videos are probably the last thing you want to look at when you're talking about trying to get ratings. I mean, we all love music videos and everything, but there's a reason ridiculousness is on 23 hours a day, maybe 24. So I'm not exactly sure where they're going to bring that, but if they're talking about making it more music centric and maybe doing different things music wise, then yeah, I'm all ears. You're not going to see, 24 hours of music videos again on.
Maybe there's a music programming opportunity for some people.
Maybe there is. Who knows? But yeah, I'll be curious to see where they take that.
Yeah.
But hey, if they want to do something music centric, obviously I think everybody would be interested in hearing more. Once again, though, it is TV and we're living in a digital world now. So, where they bring that and how they mesh it up with what they might do digital wise or whatever kind of remains to be seen.
They just need to bring back what MTV really specialized on is the access and the storytelling of artists. And I think people will tune in for that. And I think that's
they brought back Behind the Music, and they put it on Paramount, and I think the 4 or 5 or maybe a couple more that they did, I think did okay. So I think programming like that would be great. It's just somewhat sad state of affairs when a ridiculousness or 16 and pregnant and Teen Mom is really what drives the ratings and what drives the advertisers versus more of the music related content. But if you're doing it in a more presentable way and engaging or whatever, who knows?
I wonder if there'd be some sort of an opportunity for MTV to partner up with Spotify to create some kind of a video version of what Spotify is, like a TV network version of Spotify or something.
Well, that would be kind of YouTube.
MTV back in
YouTube, but it's not programmed. You know what I mean? YouTube really isn't programmed. I guess,
Yeah. Well, I mean, certain parts of it are.
Well, that other
playlist
platform,
like
beginning with a V.
Yeah, I mean, there's playlisting and things like that, obviously on YouTube, but there's and they have YouTube Music and all that. I don't want to become a spokesperson for YouTube or anything, but yeah, I mean, there's elements of that. I mean, YouTube Music is basically what Spotify is for videos in a sense. Different collabs and things like that could happen, and yeah, I mean, I think MTV would probably have to partner up with potential DSP to really get out there to a younger audience.
Right.
I mean, obviously, our age group, we'd probably tune in and see what was going on, but to really attract a younger demo, they'd really have to wrap it around maybe not even a Spotify, but more of like a Snapchat or a TikTok, to really kind of like.
That's a good idea.
Visual, yeah.
Something, yeah.
Spotify would also take it away from any relationship with Apple and other big partners.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like the TikTok idea, yeah.
We worked on enough of them all separately and over different periods of time. It's always interesting to see the show from the perspective of a fan versus somebody working on it. And I'm glad that I have that experience because now I can look at it and go, I know why they did this. You kind of understand the reasoning behind a lot of the choices that they make.
Right. Yeah, it's different from, I mean, it's such a different experience not being in it, obviously, versus being in it. So,
yeah.
And just the way it's produced now versus then and everything. Yeah.
Having sitting in the audience, do you get an urge of like, oh my God, I just miss being backstage and running around with artists and the meetings running up to it? And yeah,
in some senses, I mean, it's been a little while for me, so that has kind of faded a little. But yeah, I mean, it was exciting. I mean, handling Metallica, I was handling Nelly, I mean, all that was great. But then you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about all the drama too, especially during one specific performance at the Super Bowl. So Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a yin and yang in a sense when it comes to thinking about it. But yeah, I mean, it's always the VMAs were always exciting, like just in terms of like,
Yeah.
you know, the lead up to it and the production, everything like that. Yeah.
Well, the ratings would have been out because this is airing Thursday, the week
Yep.
after the VMAs. So it'll be interesting to see how it did. I'm sure everything's going to be positive. Congrats to all our old co-workers that worked on the show.
Listen, and anything we said is not a diss on MTV, a diss on the people who work there,
No.
a diss on the work that they did. I have the utmost respect for the people who are producing the show, booking the show, writing the show, directing the show, all of that. It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
So
We're just in a good position now to give our opinion.
Right.
Because we're not going to get fired.
Exactly. No. I think, like I said, overall, I think with all the elements that were available and they had to work with, I thought it was, you know, a pretty strong show. But yeah, I mean, there's every year there's going to be like, oh, I kind of missed that, or oh, that would have been cool if this happened. I mean, we say that every year. You know what I mean? So this year is no different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just as time goes on and digital just kind of reigns supreme, you know, the less and less the VMAs are going to have an impact. But I think they'll always still have an impact in some way, shape, or form.
right.
You know.
Right.
So.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us, Justin.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
And
yeah,
so
go on.
what
Go
I didn't
for it.
say at the beginning of the show, which I usually say, is please like, rate, review, and share the podcast so that we can continue doing it and presenting new episodes. And thank you for listening.
Bye, everyone.